My name is Rose Brennan. I'm 33 years old, and I'm an assistant district attorney in Seattle specializing in domestic violence cases. My mother called while I was in court, less than an hour after I'd secured a conviction. She didn't ask how it went. She said, "We're doing Cabo for Thanksgiving. Connor's coming with Emma. We just thought it would be easier without you this year. With your schedule, you'd probably cancel anyway." Her voice was light, cheerful, like replacing me with my ex-husband in my own daughter's vacation photos was the most natural thing in the world. 2 days later, Emma FaceTimed me from the resort. Connor was building sandcastles with her. My mother was laughing behind them. Then Emma smiled and said, "Daddy says you're too busy to be with us." They had no idea I'd already found the messages. Hundreds of them. Messages about making sure she chose him. What I brought to Christmas dinner made my mother stop pretending she was protecting my daughter. If you've ever been made to feel like a guest in your own child's life, stay with me. Because this wasn't about one vacation. It was about how far my own family was willing to go to replace me. The Instagram story appeared on my phone at 11 p.m. on Thanksgiving night. I was sitting in my apartment in Capitol Hill, eating leftover Thai food I'd forgotten to refrigerate. Emma's face filled the screen. She was wearing the purple dress my mother had bought her, the one I'd never seen before. The caption read, "Best family vacation ever." Location tag, Esperanza Resort, Cabo San Lucas. I zoomed in on the background. My mother was pushing Emma on a swing. My father stood nearby with a drink. My brother Austin was taking a photo of something I couldn't see. And Connor. Connor was at the grill, wearing the same navy polo shirt he'd worn to our wedding rehearsal dinner. No one had tagged me. No one had texted me a single photo. I set my phone down and looked at Emma's bedroom door. It was closed. She was supposed to be with me this weekend, but Connor had Emma during Thanksgiving week per the custody agreement. The agreement that gave him 60%. The agreement that said I couldn't provide consistent presence. I picked up my phone again, scrolled back through the conversation with my mother from 2 weeks earlier. Her text had been brief. "Cabo is tight on space this year. With Connor bringing Emma, we just didn't want you to feel obligated given your work schedule. Maybe next time." I'd replied, "I understand." I didn't understand, but I'd said it anyway, because that's what I did. I prosecuted abusers for a living, and I came home and said I understood when my mother chose my ex-husband over me. I went to my desk and pulled out a drawer. Inside was a drawing Emma had brought home from kindergarten the week before. The assignment had been simple. Draw your family. 5 stick figures. Labels in her careful 5-year-old handwriting. Daddy, Grandma, Grandpa. Uncle Austin. Bella. Bella was the dog. I wasn't in the picture. When I'd asked Emma where I was, she'd looked confused. "You weren't there, Mommy, remember? You were working." "Where, baby?" "At Cabo. Miss Rodriguez said draw your Thanksgiving family." I'd folded the drawing and put it in the drawer. Now I took it out again and looked at it under my desk lamp. The paper was covered in crayon. Emma had drawn Grandma Claire's hair in yellow, Connor's shirt in blue. Everyone was smiling. My daughter had rewritten Thanksgiving before it even happened. She'd drawn the family she expected to have, the family that didn't include me. I put the drawing back and closed the drawer. Then I noticed something I'd missed before. My mother's old iPad was sitting on my bookshelf. She'd left it at my apartment last December when she visited. I'd mentioned it once. She'd said she'd pick it up. She never did. I pulled it down and wiped the dust off the screen. The battery was dead. I found the charger in my kitchen junk drawer and plugged it in. While I waited for it to boot up, I opened my laptop and pulled up my work calendar. I had a trial scheduled for early January. Another domestic violence case. Another woman who'd spent years being told she was overreacting, that she was too sensitive, that her partner was just trying to help. I closed the laptop. The iPad chimed. Powered on. I tried Emma's birthday as the password. March 20th, 2020. It unlocked. The home screen showed messages, WhatsApp, email. The WhatsApp icon had a badge. 856 unread messages. I tapped it. One group chat. Created January 12, 2024. The name was simple. Co-parenting Emma. 3 participants. Claire Brennan, Connor Bennett, Austin Brennan. The most recent message was from my mother, sent 6 hours ago. He's perfect with her. Rose will see eventually this was the right choice. I scrolled to the beginning of the thread. If you've ever been made to feel like you're the problem in your own family, stay with me through the end of this story. I need to go back to the beginning, to understand how I ended up sitting alone on Thanksgiving night, reading messages about my own daughter. I need to tell you about Connor. We met in 2018. He was a project manager at Amazon. I was a junior prosecutor fresh out of law school. He was charming at parties, good with my parents. He proposed on a beach in Oregon, and my mother cried happy tears. We got married in June 2019 at Saltwater State Park, 90 guests. Connor gave a toast at the reception. He said, "To Rose, the smartest woman I know. I promise to always support your dreams, even when they scare me." I didn't hear the word scare. I only heard support. Emma was born in March 2020, right as COVID shut everything down. I took 12 weeks of maternity leave. Connor started working from home permanently. When I went back to the prosecutor's office in June, he was the one who stayed home with Emma during the day. That's when things shifted. "You're going back already?" he'd said the night before my first day back. We were eating leftover lasagna my mother had made. Emma's only 3 months old. Most moms take more time. "We need my salary," I'd told him. "And I have trials scheduled. I'm just saying, other mothers make it work." Other mothers, not other parents. Other mothers. It was the first time he'd said it. It wasn't the last. In 2021 and 2022, the control tightened slowly. So slowly I didn't see it happening. He installed a budgeting app on my phone. "Just to help us coordinate," he said, but every purchase over $50 required a conversation. "300 at Target?" he'd said one night in August 2022, scrolling through our bank statement. "What did you buy?" "Emma's clothes, household supplies." "I'm not mad, not. I just think we should coordinate big purchases. You're stressed from work, you're not thinking clearly." My friends stopped calling after a while. Connor would forget to pass along messages, or he'd mention in conversation that I was too busy to meet up, even though I'd never said that. By the time I noticed, the invitations had stopped coming. I started therapy in September 2023, Dr. Helen Yu, 8 sessions over 2 months. I told her I felt like I was losing myself. She asked careful questions about my marriage. I brought notes. Connor found them. "You're talking to a therapist about me?" His voice had been quiet, dangerous. "About our private life?" "I'm talking about my stress." "Your stress? I work all day, take care of Emma, and you're the one who's stressed?" I didn't mention therapy again after that. The breaking point came on December 15th, 2023. I was working on case notes for a trial. State versus Harrison, a domestic violence case scheduled for January. Connor had put Emma to bed 2 hours earlier. I was at the kitchen table with my work laptop, reviewing witness testimony. Connor walked in at 10 p.m. "Emma's been in bed for 2 hours. You've been on that laptop for 4. I need 30 more minutes. You care more about strangers than your own family." He picked up my laptop, slammed it shut. The screen cracked. "Now you can focus on us." I stared at the broken screen. The case files for Harrison were on that laptop, 8 weeks of work. I'd have to restore everything from backup. "You broke my laptop." "It's just a laptop. We'll get it fixed." "That's not the point." But he'd already left the room. I filed for divorce on February 2nd, 2024. Connor's response came 7 days later. Petition for primary custody of Emma. His reasoning was simple. Rose's inability to prioritize parenting due to career demands. In March, I tried to get a restraining order. I brought evidence. Photos of the broken laptop, text messages where Connor had called me unstable. My therapy notes with Dr. Yu documenting his controlling behavior. Judge Patricia Callahan listened to everything. Then she said, Ms. Brennan, I understand your concerns. However, without evidence of physical violence or direct threats, and given Mr. Bennett's cooperative co-parenting communications, I cannot issue a restraining order. I recommend mediation. I walked out of the courthouse and saw Connor in the parking lot. He was talking to someone. When they turned, I recognized her. My mother. They hugged. Claire saw me across the lot and waved. Awkward. Like she'd been caught doing something she shouldn't. Connor put his hand on her shoulder. Protective. Familiar. I got in my car and sat there for 20 minutes before I could drive. The custody battle started in April. Court-appointed evaluators. Home visits. Interviews with Emma. The evaluator who visited my apartment was polite but clinical. She walked through Emma's room and made notes on a clipboard. Ms. Brennan, your home is lovely, but I notice Emma's room is sparse. Does she spend much time here? She's with me 50-50 right now. Her toys are at both houses. More notes. And your work schedule. How many nights per week are you on call? I'd pulled out my trial calendar. 8 late-night calls in April alone. All documented. All unavoidable. The evaluator's report was filed June 15th. Recommendation. Father's schedule provides more stability for minor child. On July 20th, my attorney Rachel Donovan called. Rose, I need to tell you something. Your mother submitted a character reference for Connor. I'd been standing in the courthouse waiting room. What do you mean submitted? It's 3 pages, typed, notarized, filed last week. She didn't tell me. I know. Rose, it's not favorable to you. The letter was on my mother's cream-colored stationery, monogrammed CMB, Claire Marie Brennan, notarized at the UPS store in Bellevue on July 18th. I read it in my car, every word. I have known my daughter Rose for 33 years. She is intelligent, driven, and deeply committed to her work. However, as Emma's grandmother, I must speak honestly about what I have observed. Rose struggles to balance motherhood and career. She frequently misses Emma's milestones, first day of school, recitals, doctor's appointments, due to work commitments. Emma has mentioned feeling lonely when with her mother. Connor, by contrast, is consistently present. He attends every event, knows Emma's teachers, coordinates her activities. While I love my daughter, I believe Emma's best interests are served by primary placement with her father. 3 pages of my mother explaining why I wasn't enough. But it was one small detail that made me stop breathing. Page 2, paragraph 3. My mother had written recitals instead of recitals. I pulled up Connor's custody petition, filed back in February, page 6. Petitioner attends all recitals and school functions. The same typo, the exact same misspelling. My mother had been an English teacher for 30 years. She'd never misspelled recital in her life. Connor had written the letter. My mother had signed it. On July 28th, my brother Austin testified. Connor's attorney asked him simple questions. Austin answered honestly, or at least, he thought he was being honest. Mr. Brennan, you've spent time with Emma at both parents' homes. In your observation, where does Emma seem most comfortable? Austin had hesitated. He was wearing khakis and a button-down shirt my mother had picked out for him. At Connor's, she seems more relaxed. At Rose's, she's quieter. I think it's because Rose works a lot. And has your sister ever missed family events due to work? Yeah. Birthdays, holidays. She tries, but something always comes up. On cross-examination, Rachel asked Austin one question. Did Connor ever discuss what you should say in this testimony? Austin wouldn't look at me. We talked, but yes or no? Yes. Judge Callahan delivered her ruling on August 15th, 2024. While both parents are capable, the court finds that the father's work-from-home flexibility and demonstrated availability better serve the child's need for consistent daily care. Mother's dedication to her career, while admirable, does not align with the child's need for consistent presence. Custody is awarded 60% to father, 40% to mother. The courtroom was silent. My mother was crying in the gallery. I didn't know if the tears were for me or for Emma's stability. Connor nodded solemnly, like a man who'd won something he didn't want but knew was necessary. I drove home alone. Emma stayed with Connor that night per the temporary schedule. I walked into my apartment at 6 p.m. Emma's toys were still scattered on the living room floor from the weekend before. I left them there for 3 days. On September 18th, I called my mother. "Did you ask me before you wrote that letter?" Silence. I counted. 8 seconds. "Mom? You're angry. We can talk when you're calmer." "I'm a prosecutor, Mom. I'm always calm. The question stands. Did you ask me?" "I did what I thought was right for Emma." "Not for me?" She hung up. I opened my laptop and searched Parental Alienation, Washington State. I opened 47 tabs, read through case law until 2 in the morning, then I started building a timeline. I'm not just a mother who lost custody. I'm a prosecutor who knows how to build a case. It was time to build mine. The timeline took me 3 weeks to construct. I used Excel. 5 columns: date, event, source, participants, evidence. The first entry was November 28th, 2023. Thanksgiving dinner at my parents' house in Bellevue. I'd been working a trial. Connor had stayed late after dinner. My father mentioned it the next day. "Connor really opened up to your mom about how worried he is about you." Worried about me? 3 weeks before I'd filed for divorce. I requested phone records from AT&T on October 12th. I was still on the family plan with my parents until August. The customer service representative hesitated when I said I needed my mother's call logs. "I can provide your own records, ma'am, but for other accounts, it pertains to a family court matter. I have consent." I didn't have consent. But the records arrived on October 18th anyway, 87 pages. I highlighted every call between my mother's number and Connor's number, 127 calls between December 1st, 2023 and August 15th, 2024. The day of the custody ruling. Average call duration, 22 minutes. The longest call, February 10th, 2024, 1 hour and 43 minutes, the day after I'd filed for divorce. I cross-referenced the calls with the custody timeline. Every major filing, every hearing date. Each one preceded by a call between Connor and my mother within 48 hours. That wasn't coincidence. That was coordination. On October 20th, I remembered the iPad. My mother had left it at my apartment in December 2023. She'd said she'd pick it up. She never asked about it again. I pulled it from the shelf and charged it. The password took 3 tries. James's birthday didn't work. Austin's birthday didn't work. Emma's birthday, March 20th, 2020, unlocked it. WhatsApp was still logged in, auto-syncing from the cloud. The group chat was called Co-Parenting Emma. Created January 12th, 2024. 3 participants. 856 messages. The first message was from Connor, sent at 8:47 p.m. "Claire, I need your help. Rose is going to fight me for custody. I can't let Emma grow up thinking her mother's career matters more than she does. Can we talk?" My mother replied 5 minutes later. "Of course. Call me tomorrow. We'll figure this out together." I backed up the entire thread to 3 locations: external hard drive, Google Drive, my attorney's secure portal. Then I started reading. I selected 14 screenshots, the most damaging ones, the ones that proved coordination, manipulation, a 2-year campaign to convince a judge, and my daughter, that I wasn't enough. Screenshot 1, May 14th, 2024. Connor asking my mother to write a character letter. "Claire, would you be willing to write a character letter for the custody hearing? It would really help the judge understand Emma's needs." My mother: "Of course. What should I say?" Connor: Just honest observations about Rose's schedule and Emma's well-being. I'll send you some thoughts to organize your letter. Screenshot 2, May 15th. Connor sent an attachment titled letter_draft.docx with this message. I put together some bullet points based on what you've told me. Feel free to reword in your own voice. My mother. This is very thorough, Connor. I'll type it up this week. Screenshot 3, July 18th. My mother texted, letter is notarized and submitted to court. I hope this helps Emma. Connor replied, you did the right thing. Emma will thank you someday. My mother didn't write that letter. Connor did. And she signed it like it was her own words. Screenshot 4 showed Connor recruiting Austin. July 10th. Austin, I hate to ask, but would you be willing to testify about what you've observed with Emma? Just factual stuff, like how she seems at my house versus Rose's? Austin, I don't know, man. Oh, that feels like taking sides. Connor, I get it. But think about Emma. Don't you want what's best for her? Austin, of course. But is Rose really that bad? Connor, she's not bad. She's just not present. You've seen it. Emma deserves a parent who shows up. Not bad. Just not present. The exact phrase Austin used on the witness stand. 2 days later, Austin agreed. Connor texted my mother in a separate thread. Austin's on board. I walked him through what observations will be most helpful. Walked him through. Coached him. Screenshots 6 through 9 covered the Cabo trip. My mother texted Connor on September 15th. James and I are booking Cabo for Thanksgiving week. Connor, would you and Emma like to join? Austin and Melissa are coming. Connor, I'd love to. Emma would be so excited. What about Rose? My mother, she's always working. I'll mention it, but I doubt she can make it. 5 days later, Connor followed up. Did you ask Rose about Cabo? My mother, I called her, told her space is tight this year. She said she understood. Connor, perfect. Emma deserves family time without the tension. On November 1st, Austin texted my mother. Mom, are you sure we shouldn't push Rose to come to Cabo? It feels weird without her. My mother's response. Austin, Rose made her choice when she put her career first. We can't keep waiting for her to be available. Emma needs consistency. The day after Thanksgiving, Connor sent this to the group. Cabo was amazing. Emma had the best time. She told me last night, this is my real family. My mother replied, that breaks my heart, but also, maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. My own mother. Screenshots 10 through 13 showed the narrative they'd built together. Connor documenting every time I missed an event, my mother reinforcing it, Austin corroborating it. March 22nd, Connor. Rose blew up at me tonight over Emma's bedtime. She's so on edge from work. This is exactly what the evaluator needs to see. My mother. Document everything. Dates, times, what she said. Connor. Already am. They weren't just excluding me from Cabo. They were systematically erasing me from my daughter's life. I printed all 14 screenshots in color, bought a manila envelope from Office Depot, labeled it in my handwriting, for Christmas 2025. Then I called Evelyn Porter. Evelyn was a licensed child therapist I'd met at a legal education conference in 2023. She specialized in custody evaluations and parental alienation. I'd never thought I'd need her expertise for myself. Evelyn, I need to talk to you about a parental alienation case. Whose case? Mine. If you believe no one has the right to rewrite a mother's identity just because she doesn't fit their definition of motherhood, leave one word in the comments, present. I saw the alienation most clearly in the small moments, the moments that didn't make it into court filings or custody evaluations. Friday, December 7th. Emma's visitation weekend. I picked her up from Connor's house at 6:15. She was carrying her overnight bag and her stuffed rabbit. Connor stood in the doorway watching. On the drive to my apartment, Emma asked, "Mommy, are you working this weekend?" "No, sweetheart, it's our weekend together. Just us." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Daddy says you're too busy saving people to have time for me." I kept my eyes on the road. Did Daddy say that? He said it's okay because he has time. I didn't respond right away. I turned on Emma's favorite playlist, Moana. She sang along to How Far I'll Go. I gripped the steering wheel and waited until my voice would be steady. "Daddy's wrong, Em. I always have time for you." She went quiet. 3 days later, Emma brought home another drawing from kindergarten. December 9th. Miss Rodriguez had assigned the class to draw their Thanksgiving family. Emma showed it to me proudly. "Look, Mama, I drew everyone." 5 stick figures, Daddy in blue, Grandma Claire with yellow hair, Grandpa James, Uncle Austin, Bella the dog. "It's beautiful, sweetheart. Where am I?" Emma looked confused. "You weren't there, remember? You were working." "Where, baby?" "At Cabo. Teacher said draw your Thanksgiving family." I knelt down to her level. Do you remember we had Thanksgiving together? Just you and me? We made turkey sandwiches and watched movies?" She thought about it. "Oh yeah. But that wasn't Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was Cabo." Connor had rewritten even her memories. On December 14th, I went to pick Emma up from his house. She was standing at the door when I pulled into the driveway. I got out of the car. "Hi, baby, come here." She stopped, looked back at Connor. He nodded. "It's okay, Em. Go with your mom." She walked slowly to me, hugged me quickly, pulled back. "Can I bring my tablet?" "You don't need the tablet, we're going to— Daddy lets me." I looked at Connor. He shrugged. "She likes having it." The tablet was his, not hers. He'd packed it in her bag, a boundary violation, but I was too tired to fight about it. I said yes. I hated myself for it. In the car, Emma immediately asked for the tablet. I handed it to her. She pulled up a video. Connor and Emma at Cabo, building a sandcastle. She turned the volume up, laughed at the screen. She didn't talk to me for the entire 15-minute drive. On December 18th, Emma had a sleepover at my apartment. I put her to bed at 8:30. At 9:30, I heard voices from her room, the tablet. I stood outside her door and listened. Connor's voice on the video. "Who's the fun parent, Em?" Emma, giggling. "You are, Daddy." "And who's always busy?" "Mommy." "But we love her anyway, right?" "Right." I walked to the bathroom, closed the door, sat on the floor, stayed there for 15 minutes. Silent. No tears left. When I came out, I went to my desk and pulled out the manila envelope. I unfolded Emma's drawing, the one without me in it. I placed it inside with the 14 screenshots. "You'll understand someday, Em," I whispered. "And you'll have a new drawing. One with me in the middle." The next morning, I called Evelyn Porter again. "I'm ready. Christmas Eve. Can you come to my parents' house for dinner?" "As your guest?" "As my witness." Christmas Eve arrived cold and clear. I drove from Seattle to Bellevue in 35 minutes. My parents' house was decorated with lights, a wreath on the door. I parked behind Connor's Tesla and sat in my car for a full minute before getting out. Evelyn pulled up behind me. She was 58, gray hair, kind eyes. She was dressed in business casual, professional but approachable. She carried a small leather notebook. We walked to the door together. I was carrying my professional bag. The manila envelope was inside. My mother opened the door. "Rose, you came?" She looked at Evelyn, surprised. "And you brought a friend?" "This is Evelyn Porter. She's a colleague visiting from out of town for the holidays. I hope it's okay." My mother hesitated, but she was too polite to say no. Of course, the more the merrier. Inside, the house smelled like ham and sweet potatoes. My father was in the living room talking to Austin. Emma was sitting on Connor's lap on the couch, showing him something on his phone. She saw me and waved. Small. Uncertain. Connor saw me and waved too. Warm. Confident. Emma didn't run to me. Dinner was served at 7. Formal dining room. 12 seats. My mother had set out her good china, Wedgwood, crystal glasses, a Christmas centerpiece with poinsettias and candles. Rose, you and your friend can sit here, my mother said, gesturing to the far end of the table. Actually, I'd like to sit across from you, Mom, if that's okay. She looked surprised. Oh, sure. The seating settled. My father at the head, my mother to his right, Connor next to her, Emma in a booster seat next to Connor, Austin and his fiancée Melissa across from them, my father's brother and his wife, and me, directly across from my mother, Evelyn next to me. My father said grace. During the prayer, my hand rested on my bag, the envelope inside. Evelyn noticed. She gave me the smallest nod. Dinner started with small talk. Butternut squash soup, glazed ham, my mother's famous sweet potato casserole. Emma had mac and cheese at her special request. My mother refilled Connor's wineglass twice. Mine sat untouched. Connor, tell everyone about Emma's Christmas recital, my mother said. I heard she was wonderful. Connor smiled. She was the star. Sang Jingle Bells solo. Too bad. He caught himself. Too bad not everyone could make it. Austin looked at me. Rose, did you have to work? I kept my voice even. No, I wasn't invited. Silence. My mother cleared her throat. Well, Connor had Emma that week, so it made sense he'd take her. Right, I said. Makes sense? Emma asked Connor if she could go play. He said after dessert. She asked if I could come play after. Connor paused. We'll see. My jaw tightened. Evelyn wrote something on her phone. During dessert, I shifted the conversation. Mom, I wanted to thank you. She looked up, surprised. Thank me? For always caring about Emma's well-being. I know you wrote that character letter because you thought it was right. She set down her fork. Rose, we don't need to discuss. No, I think we do. I pulled out the manila envelope. Because I found something interesting. The room went quiet. Connor's smile faded. Did you know Connor wrote your letter for you? My mother's face went pale. That's not, he helped me organize my thoughts. Is that what he told you? I slid the envelope across the table. It landed in front of her plate. This envelope contains 14 screenshots from a WhatsApp group chat called Co-Parenting Emma. You're in it, Mom. So is Connor and Austin. Austin froze. What? I don't... January 12th, 2024 to November 25th, 2025. 856 messages. Planning custody strategy, coordinating testimony, deciding who gets invited to family events and who doesn't. My mother's hands shook as she opened the envelope. The screenshots spilled out onto the white tablecloth, timestamps in color, profile pictures visible. Read screenshot number 1, out loud. Her voice was barely a whisper. Connor asking her to write a character letter, her agreeing, Connor offering to help organize her thoughts. Screenshot 2, the letter he drafted for you. She read it, her face crumpled. Oh my God, you wrote this. Connor leaned forward. Claire, I was just helping you organize. You wrote it. She looked at screenshot 3, her own message confirming she'd submitted the letter to court. I thought these were my words. Keep reading. Screenshot 4, about Austin. Austin grabbed the pages. Read Connor coaching him on what to say in testimony. His face went red. You told me to just be honest. You didn't say you were feeding me talking points. Connor stood. You're all misunderstanding. Sit down, my father said. His voice was quiet but hard. Connor sat. My mother kept reading. Screenshots 6 through 9, Cabo planning, the deliberate exclusion. Her own words. She's always working. I doubt she can make it. Did you call me? I asked. Invite me genuinely? I called. You called and told me space was tight. That's not an invitation, Mom. Austin was pacing now. Mom, you told me Rose was too busy to come. She is. She's always... I cut her off. Screenshot 9, November 22nd. Connor, read what you wrote. He didn't move. I read it myself. Emma told me last night, this is my real family. And Mom, you replied. That breaks my heart, but also, maybe it's true. My mother started crying, mascara running. My father's hand went to her shoulder, but his eyes were on me. Emma had started crying too. She didn't understand what was happening, but she knew Grandma was upset. Connor tried to comfort her. Emma is 5 years old, I said quietly. She doesn't decide who her real family is. She repeats what you teach her to say. I picked up screenshot 14, the last one. November 25th, 2 days after Cabo. Connor wrote this to you, Mom. Read it. Her hands were shaking so hard she could barely hold the paper, but she read it out loud. Cabo trip, perfect timing. Close to the holidays, Emma had amazing time. Rose wasn't there to create tension. Judge Callahan saw my point. Emma needs a parent who shows up. Your letter made the difference. Emma calls me the fun parent now. Thanks for choosing what's right for Emma over your daughter's feelings. Rose will understand eventually that we know what's best. She stopped. The paper slipped from her fingers. 8 seconds of silence. Then my mother's coffee cup fell from her hand. It hit her china plate and shattered. Coffee spilled across the white tablecloth. My father grabbed napkins. Austin stared at Connor. Melissa covered her mouth. Emma cried louder. My mother looked at Connor. Her voice broke. You used me. You used my love for my granddaughter to take my daughter's child away from her. Connor stood again. This is out of context. Rose, you're a prosecutor. You know how to manipulate evidence. These are your words, I said. My voice was ice. Time-stamped, from a thread you created, in a group you named Co-Parenting Emma that I was never added to. The context is very clear. Claire wanted to help. Austin offered to testify. I didn't force anyone. No, you weaponized their good intentions. You told my mother she was protecting Emma. You told my brother he was helping. You told Judge Callahan I was an unfit mother, and you used my family as your evidence. Connor's voice rose. I am a good father. Emma is better off with me. Evelyn spoke for the first time. Her voice was calm, professional. Mr. Bennett, I'm Evelyn Porter. I'm a licensed child therapist specializing in custody disputes. I've been observing Emma for the past 2 weeks per Ms. Brennan's request. What I've witnessed is textbook parental alienation. Connor turned on her. You have no authority here. I will have authority when I submit my report to King County Family Court next week. Ms. Brennan is filing a motion to modify custody based on parental alienation evidence. My father stood. Connor, I think you should leave. What? You heard me. Get out of my house. My mother looked at Connor through her tears. Take Emma to the living room. I need to talk to my daughter. Connor's face was pale. Claire, now. He picked up Emma and carried her to the living room. She was confused, scared. I wanted to go to her, but this conversation had to happen first. After Connor left the dining room, Austin spoke. Rose, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I thought I was helping. I looked at him. My voice was gentler. I know. He's good at this. He made you think you were protecting Emma. My mother was sobbing now. I thought I was protecting her. I thought you were choosing career over her. You chose to believe him over me, I said. Your daughter, why? I saw you missing events, missing calls, always at work. Connor was there. He seemed stable. I prosecute abusers for a living, Mom. I work night trials because victims can't testify during business hours. I miss events because I'm in court protecting people who can't protect themselves. Did you ever ask me why I work the hours I do? Or did you just decide I was a bad mother? I didn't think you were bad. You wrote a 3-page letter to a judge saying I couldn't balance motherhood and career. You cost me my daughter. Because Connor convinced you I was the problem. I didn't know. You didn't ask. My father spoke quietly. Rose, what do you need from us? I need you to tell the truth. In court. When I reopen the custody case. Before anyone could respond, Emma appeared in the doorway. Connor was behind her. Mommy, what's wrong with Grandma? Why is everyone sad? The room froze. Everyone looking at this 5-year-old child who'd been used as a weapon. I knelt to her level. Grandma made a mistake, baby. But it's going to be okay. Did I do something wrong? No, sweetheart. You didn't do anything wrong. Never think that. Emma's voice was so small. Can I hug you, Mommy? I opened my arms. She ran to me, held on tight, buried her face in my shoulder. I missed you, she whispered. My voice cracked for the first time all night. I missed you too, Em. So much. She pulled back and looked at my face. Are you crying, Mommy? Happy tears, baby. She wiped my tears with her small hands. Connor moved toward us. Emma, it's time to go. Emma tightened her grip on me. I want to stay with Mommy. Emma, come here. No. My father stepped between Connor and Emma. I think Emma's made her choice tonight. Rose, do you have Emma this weekend? I checked my phone, the custody calendar. No, I have her New Year's. Emma can stay here tonight, with Rose. Connor, you can pick her up tomorrow. Connor's face was hard. That's not the custody agreement. My father's voice was steel. Do you want to talk about agreements? After what we just learned? Connor left without another word. The door closed. His car pulled out of the driveway. Emma was still in my arms. Can I sleep at your apartment tonight instead of Grandma's house? I looked at my parents. My father nodded. My mother whispered through her tears. Take her, please. I drove Emma to my apartment. It was 9 p.m. Christmas Eve. She fell asleep in her car seat halfway there. I carried her up the stairs and tucked her into bed. She mumbled, half asleep. Love you, Mama. Love you more, Em. I filed the motion to modify custody on December 26th at 2:15 in the afternoon. My attorney Rachel called that morning. Rose, this is the strongest parental alienation evidence I've seen in 15 years. We're filing today. How long until the hearing? Expedited motion. I'll push for January. Judge Callahan will want to see this. Same judge who ruled against me. Same judge who was lied to. Big difference. The motion included all 14 screenshots, authenticated. Evelyn Porter's preliminary assessment. 12 pages documenting signs of parental alienation. Phone records showing 127 calls between Connor and my mother. Claire's original letter next to Connor's draft, showing the identical typo. And an affidavit from Austin, written on Christmas Day, admitting he'd been coached. The court ordered an immediate custody evaluation and parental alienation investigation. Assigned evaluator, Dr. Patricia Monroe. Different from the original evaluator. First session scheduled for January 3rd. On January 2nd, I called my mother. I'm not coming to family events anymore. She was crying. Rose, please. You don't get to play both sides, Mom. You're either my mother or Connor's ally. Not both. You chose. Now I'm choosing. I made a mistake. You made 856 mistakes. Over 2 years. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. What do I have to do? Tell the truth. In court. On record. Then we'll see. There was a long pause. I'll testify. Whatever you need. We'll see if you mean it. I hung up. Austin texted me on January 5th at 11:47 p.m. Rose, I know sorry doesn't fix what I did. I thought I was helping Emma. Connor showed me texts that made you look angry and stressed. I didn't know he was manipulating me. I wrote an affidavit for your attorney. I told the truth about how he coached my testimony. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I need you to know. I see it now, and I'm on your side. Always should have been. I read it twice. Saved it. Didn't reply. Not yet. Evelyn submitted her full report to the court on January 15th. 34 pages. Her email to me was brief. Clear evidence of parental alienation tactics, including denigration of targeted parent, interfering with contact, parental replacement strategy, coaching child's language and preferences. Emma shows classic signs. Recommendation: immediate therapeutic intervention plus modified custody, pending full evaluation. You did the right thing. Rachel called 30 seconds later. Judge Callahan scheduled an emergency hearing, January 22nd, temporary modification pending investigation. Word spread in my old social circles. A former mutual friend ran into me at Pike Place Market on January 18th. Allison. She'd worked with Connor at Amazon. Rose, I heard what happened. I'm so sorry. We always thought Connor was… well, we didn't know. She paused. A bunch of us from the old group are messaging. We had no idea he was doing that to you. It's not your fault. For what it's worth, we believe you, and we're not inviting him to anything anymore. I don't need you to choose sides. We're not. He made us choose when he lied. The emergency hearing was on January 22nd at 10:30 a.m., King County Courthouse. Judge Callahan presiding. I've reviewed the evidence submitted by Ms. Brennan, the judge said. I've read Dr. Porter's report and Dr. Monroe's preliminary assessment. Mr. Bennett, I am deeply troubled by what I've seen. The coordination between you and Ms. Brennan's family members constitutes manipulation of this court. Connor's attorney tried to interrupt. Your Honor, my client, I'm not finished. Pending full investigation, custody is temporarily modified to 50-50 equal time. Ms. Brennan, I'm ordering family therapy for you and Emma. Mr. Bennett, you are ordered to cease all communication with the maternal grandparents regarding custody matters. Violation will result in contempt. Full hearing scheduled for March. Outside the courthouse, my mother tried to approach me. Can we talk? Not today, Mom. When? When I'm ready. On January 28th, Emma drew a new picture at my kitchen table. She was doing homework. Art assignment. Draw something that makes you happy. 30 minutes later, she showed it to me. Look, I made a new family picture. My heart stopped. I remembered the old drawing, the one without me. Can I see? She held it up. Me in the center, holding her hand, both of us smiling. Connor was there too, to the side. Grandma and Grandpa smaller in the background. Uncle Austin. Everyone present but arranged differently. Where am I in this picture, Em? In the middle, where you're supposed to be. On January 30th, Emma asked me the question I'd been waiting for. Bedtime. I was tucking her in. Mama, can I live with you more? We're working on it, sweetheart. When? I don't know exactly, but I promise I'm fighting for it, and I'm never going to stop. Good. I like being here. I like having you here, she yawned. Mama? Yeah, baby? I love you. I kissed her forehead. I love you more, Em. She fell asleep holding my hand. I stayed there for 15 minutes, just watching her breathe. Later that night, I sat in my living room. Both drawings on my coffee table. The old one, no Rose. The new one, Rose in the center. I haven't won everything yet. The full custody hearing is still 2 months away. Connor still has 50% of the time. My mother still hasn't fully understood the damage she caused. My brother is still trying to find ways to make up for what he did. But my daughter is calling me Mama again. She's drawing me in the center of her family. She's holding my hand when she sleeps. That's a beginning. They thought excluding me from Cabo would make me accept that I didn't belong. They thought taking custody would make me believe I was a bad mother. They thought rewriting my story would make me forget who I was. They were wrong. I'm Rose Brennan. I'm a prosecutor. I'm a mother. And I don't need anyone's permission to exist in my daughter's life. A woman doesn't lose the right to be a mother just because she doesn't live by someone else's convenient definition. I haven't won everything. But my daughter is calling me Mama again. That's where it starts. If you want to hear more stories about women who were misunderstood but stayed standing, subscribe to this channel. They try to rewrite our stories, we write them back, on our terms,